Through the annals of awards, the pages of time, the very history of competition itself, come the triumphs over adversity, the finest performances by talented men and women at the peak of their creative output. The vast majority of them are not international superstars. In fact, they perform in relative obscurity, in almost cave-like hideouts with minimal equipment to aid in their quest. They may not even be recognizable to the majority of Americans, yet we watch them emerge into the public eye once a year. For what? For recognition, for community, for the passion and the love of podcasting. Win here, and it's forever. Lose, and you may never get the opportunity again in your lifetime to compete at this level. At this award show, you get one shot. Whether we're talking about the comedian and improviser who dared to dream big and call others out on their shameless grifts, the three young podcasters who grew up hungry for airtime but had to become very successful comedic actors before they knew that their hearts were actually in podcasting. Or the man who graduated from Harvard and somehow, some way, ended up in entertainment, becoming a political commentator and comedian who decided to change the world one podcast at a time. These people, these men and women, have dreams, and they're living them.
Hey, Bob. What are you?
Jason.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. What are you doing here? Because I booked this space months ago. They didn't double book. Did somebody double book?
You know, I was just reminiscing about the iHeartPodcast nominees.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could just maybe reminisce outside, because I got to present the podcast of the year.
Well, doesn't that usually come at the end? And this show has barely even started. You got a ways to go.
Okay, fine. I'll wait. Why are you here?
Because I love the iHeartPodcast Awards. That's why. And Brian Baumgartner. Hey, Brian, I've never met you until now. Big fan.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob. It's Bob Costas, everybody. Nice to see you.
Just a fan of his, huh?
Well, I am the host of the event tonight, and Bob Costas, he loves these awards.
I do.
You should stick around and present something later because, I mean, if Bob is here, it's important.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, I think we'd all love that. I think I'll just say keep your hands off the Podcast of the Year award, because that's mine.
Or is it?
This is the 2023 iHeartPodcast Awards, and here is your host, Brian Baumgartner.
Yes, this is the 2023 iHeartPodcast Awards, and I am your host, Brian Baumgartner. Now, the iHeartPodcast Awards is a celebration of one of the most innovative, exciting, and popular platforms in the world today. There are literally millions of podcasts out there, and no matter who you are, what you do, what you like, there is a podcast for you. Do I think that means you'll like my podcast, Off the Beat with Brian Baumgartner? Well, yes. Yes, I think it does. I am coming to you from the iHeartRadio Theater in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. Some of the best and biggest names in podcasting are here. Well, not here. So many of them couldn't be here tonight that it's actually just me in this huge theater alone. Oh, and our one audience member that I just met before the show, Becky from Temecula. Hi, Becky. I hope you enjoy the show tonight. You're going to give us some of the pizzazz that I know everyone's looking for. Okay, Becky, that's good. That's good for now.
Got it.
Save it for Podcast of the Year.
Okay.
All right. But you will see some of the biggest podcasting stars videoing in, mostly from their podcast studios, because this is a show honoring people who talk to themselves in a room, oftentimes alone. Now that's just a fact. There's no judgment here. It's very hard to get them out of the house. All right, so let's just get the show started. Here to present the first award, he's the host of his own late night talk show, morning radio show, and podcast on his network, The Black Effect, Charlemagne the God.
I have an incredible appreciation for art, especially when that art is music. The more you learn about the music you love, whether it's the inspiration, the process, or the backstory behind it, the more you love that music. These nominees for Best Music Podcast open up a whole new world to us. They expose the artists and their art for our benefit. You could even say they're personalized just for you. And for that, we appreciate them that much more. The nominees for the iHeart Award for Best Music Podcast are Song Exploder.
You'll hear his bracingly honest appraisal of the winding path he took in his life and in his music.
Broken Record.
Are we really talking about all art here? Or is there a difference in the way that music and visual art are done?
Questlove Supreme.
They reminisce over you, place goes pandemonium, and then, after 15, 20 years, then silence.
It ain't gonna save you no more.
Drink Champs.
Since 106 in Park, there ain't been another 106 in Park. Yeah. There's been a lot of fake, there's been a lot of imitations, there's been a lot of phonies.
And Listening.
Nominated at both the Grammys and the Academy Awards, Bjork's inimitable voice holds space within.
And the winner is Questlove Supreme. Here to accept that John is none other than Mr. Questlove himself. Congratulations, Quest. Well deserved.
Hey, thank you, Charlemagne, for my Jorn. Thank you. What can I say? I have the strongest team in the world, and for me, I love history. I love music. I love music history. So shout out to the team that makes it happen. That's Sean G, Brian, Brittany, Cousin Jake, Laia, Unpaid Bill, Sugar Steve, Fontigolo, our animators who work tirelessly, everyone at iHeart, and really just the listeners out there that keep supporting us. And, this is really beautiful, and I appreciate this. This is awesome, and I don't take this for granted. Keep music history alive. All right.
Hosting the iHeart Podcast Awards is everything that I dreamed it would be. Exciting, action-packed, unpredictable. The list goes on. I even got to meet Bob Costas. What a thrill. Becky, I don't think that was a clappable moment.
Got it.
Well, I guess it could be if there were actually 3,000 people here. But still, I don't know if more than 22% would be clapping for that.
So this is just an award show just for podcasts.
Yes, Becky, it is the iHeart Podcast Awards.
Woo! Nice.
Now, I appreciate your excitement. Just wait until the cues, okay?
Sorry.
So we hit the streets to ask you about podcasts.
Yeah! Woo!
Let's check it out. Becky, this is where you start clapping.
Oh.
What have you learned listening to podcasts?
One thing that I've learned from a podcast is you want to dispose of a body, always wear gloves, and have a good alibi.
I learned that some things are not true that you also see on these podcasts, too. If you drink vinegar and water, mix it all together, throw some lemons in it, you're going to lose weight. False.
Some people stand up when they wipe their butt, and some people sit when they wipe their butt. And I didn't even know that was like a conversation. I thought it was all one way, but apparently people do different things. So.
What do you do?
I sit down. I don't know. I feel like if you stand up, your cheeks clench together. You can't, you don't got room to get in there. But
If you have a glass of wine, make sure you take the back roads. And also, if you get pulled over, you can always get your way out of the ticket by paying the cop. So
when you're married, the husband should always give the wife some spending money.
That doesn't matter about how much money you have. What have you learned from your podcast?
Right now, I really enjoy the podcast about trauma and like horrible up shit. And it just makes me feel better about.
What'd you learn?
About the shit in my life.
Oh. I've learned that Joe Rogan changes his mind depending on who he has on his guests. one thing that I have learned about listening to podcasts is that you have to find the one that you like, otherwise you're really gonna hate them all. And I like the funny ones, because I try to be funny.
I don't know.
From the hilarious podcast Fake Doctors, Real Friends, it's Fake Doctors and Real Friends. Zach Braff and Donald Faison.
Okay, it's on.
Is it on?
It's on.
All right, well, stand back. Come back here in the light. All right, okay.
Let me test the mic.
No,
Yo.
The mic works. Don't worry about it. Hello.
Hey.
iHeartPodcast Awards. My name is Zach Braff.
I'm Donald Faison. We're from Fake Doctors, Real Friends.
Yes, we do a podcast called Fake Doctors, Real Friends.
But you know that, or they know that?
They might know that. I don't know. But listen, I think it's pretty obvious that we wouldn't have been asked by iHeart to present the best comedy podcast if we were not included in the nominations, because that would be awkward, right?
It'd be weird.
Yeah. All right. So we will now take turns reading the nominees, which we have yet to look at. Thank you so much for having us. The very first nominee for Best Comedy Podcast is Las Culturistas.
We have been blessed as a duo by this duo, and I see the future, and it is bright.
Smartless!
Yes, wow.
You trust that comedy or levity that you're bringing to a moment is going to work and not be cheesy or undercut the importance of the scene.
Distractable.
This is the kind of, philosophical discussion that I find really fascinating and also makes me question my entire reality.
The Read!
Oh.
Nothing makes me feel older than reading Gen Z trying to communicate with each other on the internet.
Why don't you date me?
When I do date somebody, a lot of time I will after a show hang out, or in between shows hang out, or not do a show to hang out with them.
We're live. This is so good together.
Wow!
Wow!
So exciting!
Wow, you guys! Amazing.
Wow,
okay, let's get to the winner and be happy for him or her.
Yeah, let's or they.
And the winner is. Why won't you
date me?
Yeah.
Hi!
Hi, Nicole. Congratulations.
Congrats.
It's me! I won!
Yes, you did. Congratulations.
This is great. I'm the best.
Well, some
people that
weren't nominated
others
too.
that weren't nominated too, also in the club of best.
Yeah, people who aren't nominated also the best, but I won, so I am the best.
That's true. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you.
Tonight it's yours. That's
Nicole,
great.
give your speech. We'll shut up. Donald.
That is my speech. I'm thankful. Thank you.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Congrats again. And thank you so much, iHeart, for having us.
We should have been nominated, bro.
We're still rolling.
Okay.
Well, congratulations to her. Now, some people know me from The Office. Some people know me from my podcast, Off the Beat, but most people know me as a chili master. Okay, the chili guy, but chili master, it sounds way cooler. And not only am I a chili master, I am the author of the Seriously Good Chili Cookbook, containing 177 of the best chili recipes in the world. Now, what does all of this have to do with podcasting, you might ask? Well, let me tell you, there is no better delicious and nutritious meal to give you the energy and stamina to listen to podcasts for 8 to 10 hours a day than, you guessed it, chili. Out of all of the meals that you could eat to prepare for a day of podcast listening, chili is proven to be the best one. And someone, AKA Chili Master, gotta speak up about it. Chili, it's what's for podcasting. You thought I was gonna spill it, right? No, that's just for network TV.
And there are many categories you will not see on the show, but congratulations to this year's iHeartPodcast Award winners.
Business and Finance.
Planet Money. Branded Smart Talks with IBM.
Best Green Podcast.
Pet Climate.
That's climate.
Pop Culture Decodery.
Kids and Family. Wow in the World.
Spirituality and religion on beat.
Audible is one of my favorite places to find new podcasting content. And one of my favorite reasons that they are my
favorite place to find content is because of the stories they showcase. These can be stories about love, power, money, you name it, they can tell it better than anyone else. Here's a little more about one of those stories, a podcast called Punk in Translation.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Becky.
No problem.
These are stories not just about music, but it's also stories of immigration. They're stories of discrimination, of racism. So this podcast started with my friends who are producers. They asked me to be part of the podcast. They wanted to interview me and talk about my experience as a punk musician back in the 90s. This podcast is a series of episodes that talk about the influence of Latin music, Latinx, Chicano, and Latino artists in the music of punk in the US.
So it's funny that people think punk is like a white space or whatever, because like, well, punks are people of color. We use swords and shields every day, all the time. So you can bet, like you can be sure as hell we know how to use punk.
What I learned while doing this research for the podcast is that the Latino music and Latin artists have been huge influence in music in the US, not just in punk music, but in American music in general, that we are sort of connected even if we don't realize it sometimes. I mean, I hope they enjoy the music because in the end, after everything we've said, the music is good. There's stuff that I hadn't listened to before, but there are artists that are really incredible, really talented, and I hope people are open to listening to it.
Well, welcome back. I feel so energized after 7.5 or so bowls of chili. Well, the 2023 iHeartPodcast Awards are well underway. I gotta say, I think that you, like me, are loving the combination of podcasting and chili. In fact, the reviews are rolling in. Let's look at a few. At ChiliDaddy89, wow, I have so much energy for listening from eating kickin' chicken chili. That's from my book. You're welcome. At YumChili4Tum says, never thought about eating chili before tuning into the Joe Rogan Experience. Hashtag New Heights. New Heights, indeed. And at BB Too Hard to Say, who is this chili master and host with the most of the 2023 iHeartRadio Podcast Awards? Give him all the awards, they say. He should win everything, and also, he makes great chili. Well, you heard it here, folks. Keep eating and earring over there. Earring. It's a fun way to say listening. No, it'll catch on. But while we wait for it to catch on, let's give out the award for Best Political Podcast. Costas? Where's Costas? Costas was gonna do this, but I guess I'll do it like everything else. I don't know a lot about politics, okay? Or I pretend not to know a lot about politics because, am I right? Talking about it is so hard. Who has the energy for that? Well, I'll tell you who. These nominees for Best Political Podcast. Pod Save America.
Climate change is going to create more refugees than ever before.
NPR Politics Podcast.
Members of the Republican Party, now they have to bargain with each other.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
You have the economic apparatus inside the Biden administration, which is generating year-on-year inflation rates.
Here's where it gets interesting.
American women had really only recently re-entered the workforce.
And the Daily Zeitgeist.
Movies and TV shows really still have this idea of a safety net.
And the winner is NPR Politics Podcast. And here to accept the award are its hosts and hardworking crew.
Hey there, I'm Tamara Keith. We are the NPR Politics Podcast, and I cover the White House.
I'm Asma Khalid. I also cover the White House.
And I'm Susan Davis. I cover politics. And along with Scott Detrow, we host the NPR Politics Podcast. And we just want to thank you so much for our award for Best Politics Podcast. We are grateful for your support and for recognizing what we do each and every day.
We also want to give a huge shout out to the crew who makes this podcast happen every day. Our editor is Eric McDaniel.
Our producers are Elena Moore and Casey Morrell.
Our executive producer is Mathani Maturi.
And our NPR Washington producer is Lexi Shapiro.
Also, a big thanks to Christianev Kalamer, Catherine Swartz, Devin Speak, Maya Rosenberg, and Brandon Carter for all they do and have done for us this past year.
And thank you for listening to the NPR Politics Podcast.
Here to present our next award is actor, comedian, and co-host of the Smartless podcast, Will Arnett.
Did you know that history repeats itself? Yeah, it repeats itself. But nothing is more informative, more fascinating, or more fascinating or informative to me than history podcasts. Nothing. I doubt that you'd ever catch any of these nominees repeating themselves because they are too busy blowing our minds with the amazingness that is history, because history is, well, it's amazing. So, here are the nominees for the Best History Podcast. Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
In 797 AD-CE, the character of the attacks changed. From carrying out quick, overwhelming raids in search of valuables, the Vikings gradually became more audacious.
History Daily.
Today is January 17th, 1920, the start of Prohibition.
Noble Blood.
He had been elected Pope on December 26th, 795, the same day that his predecessor had been buried.
You must remember this.
Inside were the results of a reader's poll, which declared Cher and Patrick Swayze to be the sexiest stars alive.
You're wrong about.
To me, here's just kind of the aesthetic paradox of the Carpenters and then the path that I took and have seen other people taking with them.
And the winner is... You're wrong about. Here to accept the award is its host, Sarah Marshall.
Thank you so much to Will Arnett for handing me this trophy magically here in my own house. I don't know how he did it. Thank you to iHeartRadio. First and most and foremost, I have to thank Carolyn Kendrick, my producer and editor, who makes me sound like I have a well-organized brain and who hears basically everything I say in the course of a day and still wants to talk to me. I love that. Thank you to Alex Steed for making everything beyond the podcast and supporting the podcast possible. And thank you, of course, yesterday, today, and forever for our listeners who do so much, both that we get to experience as people who make the show, but also who do so much in the world. And we are the podcast with the most wonderful listeners, I think. So thank you so much.
Hey, this is Bob Costas, and as Brian said way back at the beginning of the show, I get to do this next presentation.
Where's Costas?
Podcasting exists because people were willing to innovate, to try something new, to explore the unknown. iHeartRadio wants to recognize the leaders in podcast sound design who've inspired the rest of the industry to create audio experiences unlike anything we've heard before.
I remember seeing lots of green.
Major Frequency, inspired by sound therapy and on a mission to heal, created a listening experience with Audible that takes us on a sonic journey to 10 locations around the world.
Someone told me that by seeing green, it relaxes us.
Major Frequency shows us that we can all speak and heal through the same language, the language of music. From writer and creator Aaron Mahnke, the supernatural series Bridgewater and its sound design makes listeners question everything as they're immersed in a riveting paranormal mystery. Audible's Impact Winter brings a fictional post-apocalyptic world to life through enhanced 3D audio with binaural action sequences. Creator Travis Beecher paints an entirely dark and adventurous world through sound. iHeartRadio looks forward to what the future of podcasting brings and the creation of even more new and exciting ways to enhance the listener experience.
She's an actor, author, and host of Jeopardy and the podcast Mayim Bialik's Breakdown. It's Mayim Bialik.
True crime podcasts have made all of us a little more inquisitive, a little more suspicious, and a little more proactive. I know that after listening to my favorite series, I'm double-checking my deadbolts at night. But true crime podcasts have done so much more than that. Because of shows like Serial and Crime Junkies, cases have been solved, cold cases reinvigorated, and former suspects exonerated. Those are pretty powerful outcomes for a form of media that many only consider entertainment. The nominees for the iHeartPodcast Award for Best Crime Podcast are so much more than podcasts. They're changing the way we talk about true crime. Scam Goddess.
Look, it doesn't mean you personally have to be a scam, but the concept of manhood is a scam.
Crime Junkie.
So after her cousin drops her off, Nadi sits down to catch up with her Aunt Maria. And that's when the floodgates open.
Morbid.
As Pamela was grinding, so was her soon-to-be husband, Daniel Horowitz, though the two hadn't met quite yet.
Believe her.
If the detectives don't think it's obviously self-defense, then what do they think?
And sympathy pains.
Bethany and the other counselors were roaming through the cabin, which was bustling with the chatter and activity of unpacking.
And the winner is... Believe Her. Here's host Justine Vanderloon to accept the award. Congratulations, Justine.
Thank you, iHeart. This is such an honor. This is this is definitely my first trophy and probably the only trophy I'll ever win because I didn't play sports and I've never even held a trophy, but it's basically a podcast Oscar, so I'm going with that. Thank you, super grateful. Really grateful to the production team, Kristen Lepore, Julia Hjort, Keegan Zema, Rory Leach, and everyone behind the scenes at Lemonada, the folks at Spiegel and Grau, especially Cindy Spiegel, who saw the potential here. This was a magazine article first, and I really want to thank my editor, Michelle Legros, and the funder, Type Investigations. Thank you to my babies, my daughters, who would love to see me on YouTube. Thank you to my husband, who supported the 900 hours I spent making this. And then my deepest gratitude always to Nikki Adamando, the subject of Believe Her, currently in prison, and her community that gave me the trust and the access that made this kind of reporting possible. It was really a privilege to tell this kind of story and in this form, and I hope that it did the subject matter proud. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ooh, the Best Crime Award, it always sends shivers up my spine. Yeah, and back down it, and then back up again, and sometimes down. They can be scary. But you know what I want to discuss? I want to discuss sound design for a minute here because I'm starting my own Foley studio for podcasts. Ready? Brushing teeth in the morning, or thunder in the evening, kinda, or eating a snack for me. I'm famished from doing all these Foley effects. Feel free to come back in 10. I'm frying bacon to make a rain sound, and then I'm gonna eat the bacon with some of these delicious pita chips.
She's the host of Way Up with Angela Yee and the Lip Service Podcast. It's Angela Yee.
Today, as the leading creator and provider of premium podcasts, Audible continues to push boundaries and amplify some of the most powerful and unique voices of our time. And as audio pioneers themselves, expanding the art and form of storytelling has always been a big part of Audible's mission. In the name of that mission, Audible is honored to present the 2023 Audible Audio Pioneer Award to Kara Swisher. Journalist, entrepreneur, and podcast host Kara Swisher has been covering tech, business, and politics since the early 90s, which in tech years is an eternity. She saw a huge opportunity in the creation of the internet, harnessed it, and has been building off of it since. Over the years, her direct, hard-hitting interviews with some of tech's biggest players, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates, to name a few, have cemented her as one of the most well-liked and feared journalists in the business. And as a co-founder of a conference and media company, her knowledge and curiosity about innovation has put her ahead of the trends time and time again. And as a podcaster, her generosity with that knowledge has empowered her listeners from all over the globe. Kara Swisher's vision for the future and for the future of podcasting is an inspiration. We commend her for her hard work, ingenuity, and dedication to the one thing that is certain in podcasting: constant change. Now, to accept this award, please welcome Kara Swisher.
Well, hi, iHeartRadio, and hi, Angela. Thank you so much for introducing me. This is Kara Swisher. I'm in my studio here in Washington, D.C., and I want to thank you very much for giving me the Pioneer Award, although pioneers, as you know, end up dead on the plains, so that maybe isn't so good. I'm a big fan of 1883, and it didn't turn out well for almost anybody in that show. But thank you again for this lovely award. I really do like all the iHeart podcasts, and I really like mine, and so I really appreciate it. I think we should always be changing and shifting with the times and the mediums, but it's always the same thing: storytelling, narrative, and journalism. Good luck, and I'm excited to see all the exciting creative things other new podcasters do as they follow the rest of us out into the great unknown.
He's a journalist, New York Times best-selling author, and founder of Pushkin Industries. It's Malcolm Gladwell.
I've always loved to read books. To be absorbed into their pages was such a magical and fulfilling experience. But then, podcasting came along. Now, to take a centuries-old medium and reinvent it is incredible. To take it to an entirely new level is almost impossible. But here we are, being absorbed by magical and fulfilling stories about fictional characters and their lives in a completely fresh and dynamic way. Whether those stories revolve around fictional places, characters, experiences, or relationships, fiction podcasts have absolutely revolutionized what it means to tell a story. The nominees for the iHeartPodcast Award for Best Fiction Podcast are the best of the best. Bloodthirsty Hearts.
Cube Code and Tenderfoot TV present Bloodthirsty Hearts.
Echo Park.
And what better story to be a part of than unraveling a family mystery in June's Journey?
Love in Nurabong.
These streets belong to everyone. Whether you're fourth-generation Angelino or you just hopped off the Greyhound with a backpack.
Welcome to Night Vale.
A fool and his casket are easily parted. Welcome to Night Vale.
And Princess of South Beach.
It was an action-packed day at La Casa Rosa, after Raul started to suspect Esteban's involvement in Nacho's disappearance.
And the winner is Welcome to Night Vale. Here to accept the award is the voice of Night Vale, Cecil Baldwin. Congratulations, Cecil.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Tell us how you got involved with Welcome to Night Vale.
About 10 or 11 years ago, Joseph Fink gave me a $25 microphone wrapped in a clean but wrinkled t-shirt in a coffee shop near Union Square, and that was it. That's how we got started.
Wow. Well, it's an incredible ride you've had with that, with the show.
It certainly has been. First off, I have to thank the fans of Welcome to Night Vale. The fans of the podcast and the fans of the live show, the fans, this would not exist without you. It certainly would not have taken on such a life of its own without you. If you've ever described yourself as a super hulock, this is for you. Now, I do have a few people that I want to thank, so Malcolm, please don't play the outro music, not just yet.
I won't.
I would like to thank Rob Wilson and Jessica Hayworth for the amazing images that have gone alongside the words for Lo These Many Years. Bree Williams, Jody Reamer, Andrew Morgan, and Joella Knapp, thank you for all the hard work you put on behind the scenes. This award goes to Symphony Sanders, Meg Bashwinner, John Bernstein, Joseph Fink, and Jeffrey Craner. I don't know how I would have done it without you. You all make this podcast what it is, and you all help me do my job to the best of my ability, both on the show and also in the live shows. And I look forward to continue working with all of you for many, many years to come.
Cecil, it's so well-deserved for you and everyone else involved with Welcome to Night Vale. I know I'm not alone in looking forward to more stories from you and your crew.
Thank you so much.
He is a sportscaster, commentator, and sports' biggest fan. It's Colin Cowherd.
Hi, everybody. Colin Cowherd. You may think the ultimate sports fan is the fan that just watches all the games. Nope. The fan that buys merch. Nope. The real fan does both of those, but listens to podcasts. Often the very best are from current or former players. You get stories you've never heard. And there's several sports podcasts that are among a very unique list of the best in the industry. The nominees are All the Smoke.
Could you imagine LeBron, AD, and Kawhi? Cut it out.
I'm just saying him giving the pitch to come to this team.
The Draymond Green Show.
You respect greatness, and when someone is great at something, you only want to bring your best to that.
The Fantasy Footballers.
Yeah, there's a DeAndre Swift over by Mike.
Because the Lions kept the Packers out of the playoffs.
Oh, he's got his explanation.
But what's he doing stinking up my corner over here?
The Low Post.
Laugh at them all you want. When they had those three guys, they had built a team that was going to be the undisputed championship favorite just last season.
And the Bill Simmons Podcast.
There's so much pressure on them to deliver this year. I would say they have the most pressure in the league to come through.
And here is the winner from the volume, the Draymond Green Show.
Yo, that's insane.
It's not insane. You're great. You've earned it.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Wow, I just start sweating. That's crazy. I'm honored. Quite frankly, I can't thank you guys enough. The volume, iHeart, our partnership, and just really, you know, when I got into this space, I was a little nervous about getting to this space because I'm always worried about losing me in something that I do, you know, and not being authentic and true to who I am. And, you know, to have partners who don't want you to conform to what people want you to say, you know, but having the power and the support to do it your way. And, you know, that's been my whole career. That's what's made me Draymond Green as the world know, and not just what our show is growing into. And so I'm honored, man. I appreciate everything.
She's an actress, singer-songwriter, and filmmaker, Bethany Joy Lenz.
Hi, well, I'm here to present the Innovator Award, brought to you by Planet Oat Milk. It's creamy, rich, delicious oat milk, and it's in my fridge right now. The Innovator Award highlights a podcaster who's taken the medium to new heights, a podcaster who inspires the rest of us to aim higher and to do better. I'm really excited and proud to present this award to Ashley Flowers, writer, producer, entrepreneur, and co-host of one of the most popular podcasts of 2022, Crime Junkie. So Ashley's built a podcasting empire from the ground up, like completely on her own and with zero connections in the industry. The media company that she founded, audiochuck, has seen over 1 billion downloads since Crime Junkie premiered in 2017. It's amazing. And the roster of 15 podcasts is just the start. They have plans for publishing and television and film in the works. Headquartered in Indianapolis, Indiana, far away from the hustle and bustle of bigger cities like LA and New York, Ashley Flowers made a huge mark on podcasting by doing it her own way. In 2020, she founded the nonprofit Season of Justice, which has raised almost $1 million in grant money so that law enforcement can test DNA in 135 cold cases. She wants to change the way people interact with true crime and use her platform for good, and I am here for it. I have so much respect for Ashley Flowers' vision for podcasting, and I'm very proud to present her with the 2023 iHeart Innovator Award. Congratulations, Ashley. Don't get in the white van.
Thank you so much for this honor. This is wild because just a few years ago, I was a podcast fan and listener of so many of the shows who are being nominated today. And so to think now I'm being honored with the Icon Innovator Award is wild. And I am so grateful to have been able to contribute and give back to this space in such a meaningful way. So thank you so much. Mwah.
So it's time to announce some more winners from this year's show, which I got to do last year. And everyone seemed to really enjoy it. I mean, I even got some fan mail. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. But management told me I couldn't announce them this year because I'm hosting the show. And hosting is apparently just too big a job to add another segment to. Well, I guess management has no problem asking podcast fans to do it. So here's another video of some random people from the street announcing some very important award winners that I could have announced. I mean, I'm standing right here.
Food, the sparkful.
Best emerging.
Sounds like a cold.
Wellness and fitness, maintenance phase.
News, the daily.
Science, Radio Lab.
The best third podcast is
Atlas Obscura.
It was recently brought to my attention that some Foley artists use celery to mimic the sound of bones breaking, human bones. Wow, watch out, zombie-related podcasts. I'm coming for you. And you better hire me. Wanna know why? Because if not, yeah, you get it. Here's Alex Borstein with the award for Best Overall Host.
Hosting a podcast is not as easy as just setting up a microphone and hitting record. A lot more work goes into them than you will ever see or hear. And because of that, a good host is always trying to find that balance between educating and entertaining us, between making us question and making us laugh, between finding their rhythm and finding a connection to their audience. These nominees have found that balance. They are amazing storytellers, interviewers, entertainers, researchers, and guides all in one. They're masters of their craft, and because of their talent, they are taking podcasting to places we could never have dreamed of. The nominees for the iHeartPodcast Award for Best Overall Host are Ashley Flowers.
Nadi sits down to catch up with her Aunt Maria, and that's when the floodgates open.
Sarah Marshall.
There's something to me that's so special about Karen Carpenter's voice.
Nicole Byer.
When I do date somebody and it might turn into something.
Kara Swisher.
If they put money in the market now, they're just not going to do the same. They can't get into real estate.
Jay Shetty.
So many of us don't feel we deserve happiness.
And the winner is Nicole Byer.
Wow, 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 wow. Best overall host, best overall host of a podcast. They said it couldn't be done, but I have proved them wrong. Isn't that nice to have an award in your house that's shaped like a heart? Because my heart is cold and unloved. That's what my podcast is about. It's called Why Won't You Date Me? And nobody loves me or wants to date me. When I was a small child in Lincroft, New Jersey, I said, what will I become as an adult? A farmer? A bus driver? A nanny? But no, I overcame adversity and became a podcast host. Thank you.
Best advice and inspirational. Beautiful stories for anonymous people.
Technology, pivot.
Spanish language. Ciudad Mágica.
Ad read. Conan O'Brien needs a friend.
Best beauty and fashion. Nat's Beauts.
TV and film, films to be buried with.
Best international. El Viaje.
Folks, let's take it down for a bit, all right? And let's talk about what I love about podcasts. I think what I love about them the most is that there's so much information in them. They're like the information superhighway, except an extra fast one, like those tunnels that Elon Musk was gonna build. Did he ever build those? Becky? Anyone? You know what? I bet there's a podcast about them. But seriously, what other medium provides us with so much information? without requiring us to read piles of long, boring books or spend hours watching some long, boring documentary or sit in some long, boring school for years. Gross. But you know what? I bet there's a good podcast about long, boring schools. Do you see what I'm saying here? Yeah, there's a good podcast about everything. They're what's cool. And I am cool. Wait, should there be a podcast about how cool I am? Should there? Now that is something to think about.
He's the president of iHeart Latino and the host of the Enrique Santos podcast. It's Enrique Santos.
Hello, I'm here to present this year's Social Impact Award to two incredible women, Dr. Laurie Santos and Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. Dr. Laurie Santos wants the citizens of the world to be happier, and she's doing it one podcast episode at a time. The Yale University professor's show, The Happiness Lab, helps us take ownership of our thoughts and turn them into our happiness. Her course, Psychology and the Good Life, is one of the most popular at Yale. The online version has seen over 4 million enrollments, and most recently, she released a free version of the course for teens. Dr. Santos' mission to make us feel better is working. Her podcast has over 85 million downloads, and her message is clear. Happiness is attainable. Clinical psychologist Dr. Joy Harden Bradford started the Therapy for Black Girls podcast to demystify the stigma around therapy while providing mental health resources for Black women and girls. She presents these topics in a relatable and accessible format, both on the podcast and through an online platform where she has also created Sister Circle, a community where members can connect with each other online or in person, learn more about mental health, and get support through a variety of resources. Dr. Joy also founded the Holding Space Foundation in 2021. It provides group healing spaces for Black women and girls, training for mental health professionals, and education for communities. Her hope is that through her platforms, Black women and girls will have the space, knowledge, and resources to tend to their mental health. I'm so excited and so honored to give these iHeartRadio Social Impact Awards to Dr. Santos and Dr. Joy. To both of you, thank you. Thank you for your hard work and all the energy you put into making us and the rest of the world better. Congratulations.
I cannot believe that I got the Social Impact Icon Award. I'm humbled and a little bit in shock, but thank you so much to everyone at iHeart for thinking of me for this award. Thanks to the whole Pushkin team, who are amazing and helped me spread the message of happiness everywhere. And also to my team at Yale that created our class for teens and for adults so that they can be happier. Hopefully this award will help me get the happiness science out to even more people. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the incredible honor of the Social Impact Award. I am humbled and excited of the work that we get to do by producing the Therapy for Black Girls podcast, but could not do it without my incredible team, including my husband Denison and our incredible producers, Cindy, Elise, and Frida. So thankful for all of the incredible work that you do. The work that we do at Therapy for Black Girls is focused on bringing mental health conversations to Black women and girls to help them prioritize their mental health. And I'm so thankful for all of your support.
And now, another audible storytelling moment.
We've always felt in podcasting that the relationship between the listener and the speaker is so important. Joseph and I started this podcast with an idea that Joseph had for this series that under the idea of Lost Boy Found.
This unlikely pair will follow a trail of seemingly unconnected cases, which will lead them to a ransom, a murder, a mysterious wellness center, and a conspiracy that might go all the way to the governor.
And so we took that and sort of built the story around that, the 12-episode arc around that.
Unlicensed is a story about kind of that human necessity to help each other.
There's something really relatable about these normal people dealing with real life problems in their own personal lives. I hope people listening to Unlicensed have that relationship to the characters that they hear, that the stories that they're telling.
We try to tell a story that we love. I love this story. I really am a fan of this show, and we hope that if we love it, then then someone else might love it too.
If you hosted a podcast, what would it be about?
If I was to do a podcast with you, it'd be how to get out of the house without getting an ass whooping.
Mine would be how to raise 3 daughters successfully. So ours would conflict.
We would just quote movies that we watched in the early 2000s and 90s.
Sean, you are my same height.
That is neat.
That is neat.
Stephanie stole my
flip-flops. I feel so good.
It would be cool things that she knows about that she can like tell me about. You know,
Little phrases she doesn't know because she's old.
I think it would probably be about like horror movies.
If we were to do a podcast together, it would be about flat earth theories and, I don't know, life together as a couple maybe? I don't know.
Probably be like a podcast on how to help people get a better OnlyFans or something like that.
I talk about how not to get caught cheating. Rule number 1, don't let the girl know the passcode to your phone. Girls are always sneaky. Who is Selena? Who is Jennifer? They are just friends. Can we have friends? Because women like have a lot of friends. But guys, we're not supposed to. So, long story short, I'm single.
Our next presenter is a comedian, producer, podcast host, and her special, Hot Forever, is out on Netflix. It's Eliza Schlesinger.
So I'm known for performing alone, but the truth is I couldn't do it without support. Support from my friends, family, fans, really good undergarments, orthotics, and like an app that tells me when to drink water. Yes, we can do these things alone, but the truth is we're better together. Isn't that like a leftover slogan from COVID? Ew. The truth is we are better together, and nobody knows that better than the nominees for Best Ensemble. And they are. And I made my own note card. You guys need to step up your budget. Smartless.
It's also one of those moments that you are known for where you trust that comedy or levity that you're bringing to a moment is going to work.
Just Between Us.
You can't force feelings. Like, feelings are going to be what they are.
Let's Make a Sci-Fi.
March 2020. COVID hits. The world locks down. And Grace moves to her hometown to live with her parents. Guess who's also home? Tom?
Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
I think physical comedy, when people can nail that, I think you're in a high stratosphere that most people don't get to experience.
And Best Friends with Nicole Byer and Sashir Zamata.
How are people getting 10,000 steps?
I think like exercise.
And the winner for the iHeartPodcast Award is Smartless. Here to accept the award are hosts Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes. Congratulations, you guys. Please have me on.
Well, this is a crazy surprise and what an honor.
It's a huge honor. Thank you to iHeart and all the listeners. This is amazing.
And thank you to Sean for taking yourself out of the individual category and bundling with us so that we have a shot at winning.
And acknowledging that you're part of an ensemble. And speaking of ensemble, we've got our whole team here as well.
Look at this.
Bennett and Michael and Rob. This is Smartless.
These are the brains and the engines and the cogs, but behind it all.
Brains is a stretch, but you know, I think that
there's the turtleneck and chain is behind it all.
Sure. But truly, we are very. Thank you so much.
This is really cool.
We can't believe we wouldn't listen to us.
Are you sending some kind of an award that we can put in Sean's bookcase behind him?
Yeah.
Is that what comes, or a certificate of something? We can put it next
like a
to
big
Yoda.
check. Oh no, one of those big checks. One of those big checks.
Yeah, like a cartoon size. Yeah.
It says, like iHeart, because as you guys know, iHeart money.
we heart iHeart, and we heart our fans, and we heart iHeart everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you for listening, you guys, to our drivel.
And now, here, live and in person, Peter Tilden and Jason Alexander to present the Podcast of the Year Award.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason Alexander.
And I'm Peter Tilden.
And we are the co-hosts of a new podcast called
Really No Really.
It's a fascinating show where Peter and I talk about the things that make us go, really? No, really.
Things that annoy us, things that perplex us, and you know what?
They don't perplex us. They intrigue us.
And we argue because
we don't argue. We have a discussion. We bicker slightly.
we fight all the time.
Oh my God, you know, by the end of the first season, I'm just gonna kill him. Which is still enough because in the second season, the show becomes a murder mystery.
You'll take care of my family, right, if something happens?
Probably.
Very sweet. Why don't we do this?
All right. It's amazing that we get to present the Podcast of the Year award. It is the only award in the entire show where the fans choose the winner.
How about that? And this year it's presented by Autonomy, the new super flexible way to get an EV for less, Jason.
Yes,
for
indeed.
less.
Thank you,
Much
Peter.
less.
I like less. Congratulations to the nominees for Podcast of the Year.
Here we go, Smartless.
It's also one of those moments that you are known for where you trust that comedy or levity that you're bringing to a moment is going to work.
Conan O'Brien needs a friend.
I think physical comedy, when people can nail that, I think you're in a high stratosphere that most people don't get to experience.
Fly on the Wall.
When I did the Pepper Boy with Sandler, it wasn't really happening throughout the week.
Las Culturistas.
And I feel that we have been blessed as what we can really call ourselves, Bowen, a duo, by this duo. I see the future, and it is bright.
Maintenance phase.
What we thought of as disease wasn't infectious disease anymore.
Scam Goddess.
Look, it doesn't mean you personally have to be a scam, but the concept of manhood is a scam.
Crime Junkie.
Nadi sits down to catch up with her Aunt Maria, and that's when the floodgates open.
Love and Nora Bong.
These streets belong to everyone. Whether you're fourth-generation Angelino or you just hopped off the Greyhound with the backpack.
Morbid.
As Pamela was grinding, so was her soon-to-be husband, Daniel Horowitz, though the two hadn't met quite yet.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
So many of us don't feel we deserve happiness, or we don't feel we're worthy of happiness.
And the iHeart 2023 Podcast of the Year goes to, you ready? Las Culturistas.
And here to accept the award are its hosts, Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers.
I wonder if they like each other.
They gotta like them more than us. Matt, Bowen.
Oh my God! We are the winners! Wow, what a surprise! Podcast of the Year? Unreal. I mean, and it was a year. And it's been such a year. And we have to thank all the podcast trailblazers that have come before us. Mark Maron, this is for you. This is for you. Can't remember anyone else. I think Snooki? Yes, Snooki has a podcast. Thank you, Snooki, for paving the way. And we're going to leave it there. No, thank you guys so much. And I think we definitely want to say thank you so much to our iHeart family, our Big Money Players family. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Anna Hosnier. Thank you, Becca Ramos. Thank you so much to
and Doug Bain.
Doug Bain, our engineer.
This is just a really special little thing that we watered for years and years, and we're very, very happy that people seem to like it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and well, two last things. Definitely want to shout out Forever Dog, where we got our start. Thank you, Joe, Alex, and Brett. Thank you. And also, first and foremost, always, thank you to the readers, the Katies, the publicists, the Clown Brigade, however you identify. We really do truly do it for you. So thank you so much.
Love you.
Well, that's it. The 2023 iHeart Podcast Awards. Congratulations to all of the winners, and congratulations to the host. Very well done. Thanks to Jason and Peter and to Bob Costas, wherever he is.
I've been here, the whole time.
Anyway, everybody, thank you and goodbye. We'll see you next year.
Yeah. What I was saying is it's generally alphabetical. Alexander and Tilden. Yeah, but there's an exception to the rule. How about this? Abbott and Costello. AC.
Okay, Wilbur and Orville.
Antony and Cleopatra.
Fred and Wilma.
No, that wasn't work, right? Fred and Wilma are funny.
No, I understand.
Fred and Wilma.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Last names.
And I'm the idiot? You thought I was the idiot.
Oh, you're the idiot.
Really?
Oh, you're the idiot. Really? No, really.
Yeah.
Really? No, really.
You know?
Alexander Tilden.
Alexander and Tilden. That's right. That makes perfect sense.
If that's so important to you, have at it.
It's not that it's important to me. It's about audience recognition. Yeah. We don't really fight. We kind of
fight enough.
Guys, we're done. We're done.
Okay. Yeah, we're not doing this for the show. This is just what we do.
Oh, this is not an act.
Yeah.
I really.
Yeah. Brian's in my life.